Hello Master Thieves and welcome back to Skyrim. I'm going to tell you right now, this is actually post-commentary because I accidentally deleted the file with my commentary on it. So we're going to do this over again. Not a big deal, but first off we're going to start with our level up screen because I didn't do that last time. We're going to choose Respite under the Restoration tree here because when we use healing spells like Fast Healing or Normal Healing or Closed Wounds, which we'll get later, it also recovers our stamina, which is going to be good if we're sprinting long distances. We don't have to wait for that to come back. We can just cast a healing spell, even if we're not losing health, and it'll do that. So let's go and talk to Carlisle.
The time has come to decide Mercer's fate. Until a new guildmaster is chosen, the decision falls to you.
Aye, lass, and I've come to a decision. Mercer Frey tried to kill both of you. He betrayed the guild, murdered Gallus, and made us question our future. He needs to die.
We have to be very careful, Brynjolf. Mercer is a nightingale, an agent of Nocturnal.
It's all true. Everything I heard in the stories. The Nightingales, their allegiance to Nocturnal, and the Twilight Sepulchre.
Yes. That's why we need to prepare ourselves and meet Mercer on equal footing. Just outside of Riften, beyond the southeast gate is a small path cut up the mountainside. At the end of that path is a clearing and an old standing stone. I'd ask you both to meet me there.
Right, so before we make her there, we're actually going to go ahead and go somewhere else. In the past few videos, you probably noticed that I've been pretty over-encumbered. Even though I do have a lot of stamina, I've been carrying a lot of stuff. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to go back to Dace Mons, our mansion castle thing, and we're going to go and drop off some stuff. So we're going to do things like fill some mannequins with armor. We're going to put some of our hold shields on the shield wall and that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and get started. If I can enter the map screen anytime soon, which I don't remember. There are some points in this video that I had to edit out because I wasn't doing a whole lot. So there are going to be a pretty decent amount of cuts in this part. And I think maybe I was checking something at this point. I don't really remember. But anyway, next part we are going back to like live commentary because I don't really like doing post commentary that much. It's not as like active. I'm not as interested. I'm usually like looking at other things while I'm doing it. Like right now, I don't have the volume on because I'm waiting for someone who could potentially come to my house today. So I'm just listening for the doorbell in case she does. But you know, with the live commentary, you can actually pay attention. It doesn't really matter if people are coming. It's like whatever, just play the video game. So whatever. I just got there. We're gonna go ahead and dump off our Falmer armor, I think we did, or was it the Dwarven stuff that we? No, it was the Dwarven stuff that we did first, because that's pretty cool. We are missing the chest plate though. As soon as I find a chest plate, I will drop it on this guy. But until then, we will not be able to complete him. I would like to get as many armor sets as I can to fill up these mannequins. And I know there's a lot of armor sets because you have the unique armor sets like the Dark Brotherhood armor or the Thieves Guild armor, or the Falmer armor, but then you also have all the craftable stuff like the glass armor and the elven armor and the ebony armor and all that stuff. So I don't know if there's actually enough mannequins in this house to sort of cover each one with its own armor set. There might be too little mannequins. We'll check it. I'll just keep on filling them until I get full, and if that's the case, I'll probably just buy another house, or maybe I'll install another house mod and then do it that way. So we'll see how that goes. And here, this is our treasure. I think our treasure room looks pretty cool. I've recorded 2 videos past this, and in that time I've put some stuff in here. But right now we're not going to have anything. But it's a little empty, but what can you do? There's our dragon priest wall. It's sort of empty, barren. Like my village. Wait, that's making sense. Let's just stop right there. So we're gonna go ahead and drop some more weight by sticking our shields on here. And the cool thing about dropping all this weight and having such high stamina is that I'm going to be able to actually carry dragon bones and dragon scales when I have them. Because even if you don't like crafting, those things are really valuable as far as selling goes. Which at this point I don't really need money because I just don't. But I will use them for crafting, absolutely. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but when you get the dragon smithing perk to create dragon armor, there's actually 2 different dragon armors that you can make, and it correlates with you finding dragon scales and the dragon bones on dragon corpses. Yeah, when you craft armor with the dragon bones, that's going to be heavy armor, and when you craft it with the dragon scales, that's going to be light armor. And being an archer, sneaky sort of guy, I'm going to go with the dragon scale armor because it doesn't weigh as much. There's also a really cool light armor. Oh, we're just cut. There's a really cool light armor perk that makes light armor weigh nothing, so I will do that because I actually have enough skill points for it. But anyway, we'll do that in a few videos from now. First, we're going to do the quest. Artifact, get out of the way. Come on.
This is the headquarters of the Nightingales, cut into the mountainside by the first of our kind. We've come to seek the edge we need to defeat Mercer Frey. If
Sounds
you'll
good.
follow me, I'll try to explain on the way.
Alright, so you can ask her some questions here if you want. I think I only went with one if I remember right. I don't know, it's
From the
been...
moment you were struck with my poisoned arrow at Snowvale Sanctum, my path changed its course. Perhaps I couldn't bring Mercer back alive, but together, we were able to clear my name and to put Gallus's memory to rest. I'd always intended Mercer's fate to ultimately be decided by the Guild, and it seems they've spoken. She's the mistress of night and darkness, and the patron of every thief in Tamriel.
Cool.
Nocturnal isn't one for worship and reverence. There are no priests and no sermons, no services and no alms. She influences our luck, and in return, demands payment. You're
Yeah.
closer to understanding than you realize. The only difference is she doesn't demand payment in the traditional sense, and sometimes the cost can be quite high. Whether you know it or not, Nocturnal dictates how well we perform as rogues.
I don't think so. You don't got a pickpocket skill 91, lady.
You have to think differently. Haven't you ever noticed how our luck behaves? Like a novice picking an impossible lock, or a blind man suddenly turning to face you as you reach for his pocket. It's through these subtle means that Nocturnal influences.
Bitch, you need a sneak skill of 61. That's what you need. 64. What was it?
Nocturnal's whim is the greatest mystery to everyone. There have been volumes written on the subject. Does she exact payment when we die? When we suffer? Does she revel in our misery? No one knows. The return certainly seems worth the risk, though.
I could definitely see her being a dominatrix once you actually see what she looks like
This way, please.
and how she speaks. You'll totally agree with me, I'm sure. And did I cut out this loading screen? I hope I did, cause no, I don't think I did. I didn't. Then let's go ahead and actually, I don't think it's a long loading screen anyway. So we'll just talk straight through it, cause that's how. Yeah, I totally didn't forget, or I totally didn't remember to cut this out, but. Whatever, it's not a long one. So this is like one of the less interesting quests in my opinion, because there's no challenge. You're not fighting anything. There's not really a whole lot of story going on. It is like
Nightingale Hall. I heard about this place when I joined the guild, but I never believed it existed.
The assumption that the Nightingale just seeded within the guild on purpose. It helped to reputation.
right. So like it sort of serves a purpose as far as the story goes, but it doesn't really
I'm trying to understand why I'm here.
like technically do
I'm no
anything.
priest. I'm certainly not religious. Why pick me?
Yes, they're too far away, so the subtitles just don't show up, and I can't hear them at this one, so whatever. So what I was doing here is I was looking around for a skill book, which I thought was over here, but it was not. There's actually 2 skill books in this hall, and they're both in a separate room. They're like in the living quarters, I think. Actually, was there one over here? I don't remember. I was looking for it, but I think I gave up on it, actually. But there are definitely... Oh, no, there it is. I'm sorry. It was over here. So it's... what is that? Furloin Shadows? Something like that. Something like that. And activate the armor stone and get some stuff. Pickpocket. Yeah, that was a pickpocket skill increased our skill to 80, so we'll take that. Add it to our library. In the time between now and this video, I actually raised my pickpocket skill by
I think we
11.
should trust
So it's
the
91.
take the
Which is
deal.
hilarious. And it went so quickly too, because I'll explain why in a different video.
Time's wasting, and Mercer's still out there. Let's get this show on the road.
Yeah, so you got to go to the stone, activate, and it adds it adds armor to your inventory. And this armor is actually my favorite armor in the game, not because it's like the strongest or anything, but I think it looks the coolest out of at least the vanilla armors in the game, because I haven't really checked out the mods too much yet for the armor, but it looks really cool. And you can see the effects there. I can't see it because of this playback quality, but you can see there. I think there's a move silently boots there, lockpicking and one-handed attack increases, that sort of thing. It's all just great. And illusion spells cost 15 to cast, which I don't really use illusion spells, but I mean, we'll take it anyway. We'll take it anyway, and there's a ring as well, which gives you an increase to sneaking and other stuff as well. So there's our full suit. We're gonna go ahead and switch to third person as soon as we get out of the menu here, so you guys can actually see how it looks, because it looks really cool. I sort of like. I'll leave the comment for later, but there was something I said in the original commentary that made me tee-hee, I suppose. But I don't even know why I like that's the problem with post commentary too. I don't remember why I do certain things. But anyway, here's our Nightingale armor. I sort of look like an evil Power Ranger, which is I like that description. So we're gonna stick with that. We're an evil Power Ranger, saving the world one empty pocket at a time, basically. So I don't know. It just looks really cool, especially like when you look at the eyes like that. They're just like two glints of light, and that's really cool. I think like they're not even pupils; they're just two dots of light. It's badass. I think.
Time's wasting. Okay, lass, we've got these get-ups on. Now what?
Beyond this gate is the first step in becoming a nightingale.
Whoa there, lass. I appreciate the armor, but becoming a nightingale? That was never discussed.
To hold any hope of defeating Mercer, we must have Nocturnal at our backs. If she's to accept you as one of her own, an arrangement must be struck.
What sort of arrangement? I need to know the terms.
The terms are quite simple, Brynjolf. Nocturnal will allow you to become a nightingale and use your abilities for whatever you wish. And in return, both in life and in death, you must serve as a guardian of the Twilight Sepulchre.
Aye, there's always a catch. But at this point, I suppose there isn't much to lose. If it means the end of Mercer Frey, you can count me in.
What about you? Are you ready to transact the oath with Nocturnal?
Yeah, why not? You won't let me complete the quest without it, so let's go and do it.
By transacting the oath, you'll be provided all of... You're free to use those powers as you see fit. In return, you'll... More importantly, upon your death, your spirit will be bound to the Twilight Sepulchre as one of its guardians.
That sucks.
Once the oath has been struck, the terms are binding. Knowing this, are you ready to undergo the ceremony?
I like how there's just no not option for no. Like, you gotta say yes. Okie dokie. But this actually reminded me of Death Note, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because basically in Death Note, which is an anime, if you it's like a sort of supernatural book where if you write someone's name in it, they die within 40 seconds of a heart attack unless otherwise specified. And if you haven't seen this show, by the way, it is incredible. Either go watch the show or read the manga. Both, I mean, they're equally good, I thought. But basically, it reminded me of this because whoever uses Death Note, one of the rules is you can't go to heaven or hell. It's sort of unclear if you go to the Shinigami world or if you just sort of fade out of existence. But that reminded me of this. Like, if you become a nightingale and you sort of get like sort of minor luck blessings, you don't get to go to heaven or to hell, but instead your spirit is sentenced to guarding the sepulcher, which is just like sort of boring little like mini dungeon. It's not a huge deal. It's just kind of something that you have to go through after some of the other quests are done. So that really sucks. Like, I would not do these sort of things where my spirit is either banished from, you know, certain places, or if it's tied to somewhere. Like, I want to go where I want to go. Okay, I don't do the whole loyalty. Have you guys noticed that? I don't really do the whole loyalty thing. Yeah, I don't do that like in real life. So, it's just, like in the afterlife, especially, like, no, I'm gonna pass on that. But that was just my thought. That's what this reminded me of, because Death Note is always. It's just like something you never forget, you know? It's one of those things. It's like such a nice, awesome, different show. It's great. It's potato chips everywhere and juicy apples and all that stuff. Anyway, I was looking for some stuff there. I think that was the other skill book that I read there, but I had already found that in the last part, I think. A previous copy of that same book. So not really important. But let's go ahead and get this ritual started. To start, you just have to go stand on that little bridge there.
I call upon you, Lady Nocturnal, Queen of Murk, and Empress of Shadow. Hear my voice.
Ah, Carlia. I was wondering when I'd hear from you again. Lose something, did we?
My lady, I've come before you to throw myself upon your mercy and to accept responsibility for my failure.
You're already mine, Carlia. Your terms were struck long ago. What could you possibly offer me now?
I have two others that wish to transact the oath, to serve you both in life and in death.
You surprise me, Carlia. This offer is definitely weighted in my favor.
My appetite for Mercer's demise exceeds my craving for wealth, Grace.
Revenge. How interesting. Very well. The conditions are acceptable. You may proceed.
Lady Nocturnal, we accept your terms. We dedicate ourselves to you as both your avengers and your sentinels. We will honor our agreement in this life and the next until your conditions have been met.
Very well. I name your initiates Nightingale, and I restore your status to the same, Carlisle. And in the future, I'd suggest you refrain from disappointing me again.
You know what's disappointing? Your shade of purple. It needs to be much, much purplier. That's my comment. I'm disappointed in you, Nocturnal. That's my comment.
You've transacted the oath. It's time to reveal the final piece of the puzzle to you. Mercer's true crime.
Well, okie dokie. Go ahead. Go ahead and say it there, pal. Go ahead and say it there. I mean, that was an interesting cutscene, but good old
Mercer
Mercer.
was able to unlock the guild's vault without 2 keys because of what he stole from the Twilight Sepulchre, the skeleton key. By doing this, he's compromised our ties to Nocturnal and, in essence, caused our luck to run dry. Well, yes, but the key isn't only restricted to physical barriers. All of us possess untapped abilities, the potential to wield great power securely sealed within our minds. Once you realize the key can access these traits, the potential becomes limitless. Good. Then you understand why this is about more than just Mercer's lust for power. If the key isn't returned to its lock in the Twilight Sepulchre, things will never be the same for the Guild. As time passed, our luck would diminish to the point of non-existence, and whether you know it or not, our uncanny luck defines our trade. Very true. In our line of work, it's quite rare we set out to return a stolen item to its rightful owner. Before we depart, Brynjolf has some business to discuss. I suggest you listen to him.
Yep, so he's got an interesting proposition.
Listen, lad. There's one last piece of business we need to settle before we go after Mercer. The leadership of the guild.
Yeah, what's that?
Elia and I had a long discussion before you arrived here. Thanks to your efforts, Mercer's treachery has been exposed. After we deal with him, all that remains is restoring the guild to its full strength. As a result, we both feel that you have the potential of replacing Mercer as leader of the Thieves Guild.
Dude, I've been here for 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks. Come on.
I've been at this game a long time, my friend. A long time. I've stolen trinkets from nobles and framed priests for murder. I'm good at what I do. Maybe even one of the best. But it's all I know. I've never been one to lead. Never desired it, never cared for it. Don't want it.
Well, I don't know what to say, I guess. I mean...
Well, we have a bit of an errand to run before your coronation, so don't get sentimental on me now.
Well, if you say so, sure, I guess. I mean, why not? We're already the head of the Brotherhood.
Then it's decided. When this is all over and Delvin's contacts assure me that we've regained our footing in Skyrim, we'll handle the details. Until then, we have quite the task ahead. I've been poring over the plans you brought us, and I'm convinced the eyes of the Falmer are in the Dwarven ruins at Erkenthat. Karlaya and I will meet you there. Prepare yourself, lad. This will be a fight to remember.
Yeah, it's actually a really cool fight. You know, I do enjoy it. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, actually, is before I end the part, because this is the end of the quest here, but before I end the part, we are going to go back to Mercer's house, because I completely forgot to pick up the special unique sword that he had there. Like, I looked straight at it, but I was so concerned with finding the collectible for the Litany of Larceny that I just like looked right past the sword. So we're gonna go get that right now. I'm gonna cut straight to it, so you don't have to watch me traveling all the way back. But we're also gonna pick up a book while we're there. It's not a skill book, but it's something I would like to add to my collection because it's hilarious. So here we are. There is Chillrend in that case there, and there's the lusty Argonian maid P1. This is basically a running joke in Skyrim. It's like an erotica, a porno book in Skyrim, and there's like 6 of them, I think. So I'm gonna try and collect those because it's hilarious. If you just go through them, it's like, what? Of course they had to add this. This is perfect for immersion because you have like 50 Shades of Grey fucking being a bestseller for 9 months, and of course 50 Shades came out after Skyrim, but like still, I think it did at least. It didn't become popular until after Skyrim, but the point still stands. Anyway, here is Chillrend. It's got frost damage on it, and it's pretty strong too. So we're going to go ahead and pick that up. We're going to store that back in Deus Mons, and we're already over encumbered again, so I'm going to drop off some stuff between now and the next part as well. But there it is. Takes frost damage, also has a chance of paralyzing. So it is a pretty decent sword. I believe it's two-handed. I'm not positive because I've never used it actually. But I think it is two-handed, not just one-handed. And spider controller, I don't even remember where I got that, but it's in my inventory, so there is that. And I guess I'm just looking through some stuff that I can drop so I'm not so over-encumbered, because at this point I am 7 pounds over-encumbered, or 7 kilograms. I don't know really what the unit of measurement is in this game. I don't know if it's pounds or kilograms, but I am in America and we use pounds, so I'm just going to say pounds. Could be kilo, kgs, whatever. But, you know, whatever. So we're also going to drop some potions that I never use, because, like, even though some of them are worth a lot of money, at this point I don't need money because, like, from when we finish the Thieves Guild and afterwards, we're going to have fences, so anything valuable we find, we will be able to sell it to people for money. So that's going to be good. Of course, speech raises really slowly, but that's not going to be a huge deal anyway. And yeah, money, just, long story short, money's not going to be an issue after this. Anyway, I'm going to end the part here because it's the end of the part. So thank you guys so much for watching. Next time we're going to go ahead and do Blindsided, which is the last real quest of the Thieves Guild questline, and we're going to take down Mercer. So hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you tomorrow.